everyone. It's yet another Sunday, and we're together again on Newsline, your Sunday tonic, and of course, your easy passports to Nigeria and beyond. I am Claire Adilabu Abdurrazak, and it is my pleasure to have you with us tonight. It's the last Sunday of June, and we have very interesting, intriguing, and informative lineup of stories to close out what has been an exciting and eventful month. So tonight on Newsline, you'll discover firsthand how the Basa women of the FCT epitomize Eleanor Roosevelt's insight that, and I quote, "A woman is like a tea bag. You never get to know her strength until she's in hot water," unquote. And as they say, life's journey is a process marked by challenges that reshape our perspectives and fortify our inner strength. But it's in all of those trying times that the power of collective care shines forth and, of course, guides our journey. So tonight, we will share with you a story that beautifully captures this profound truth. You will also witness the ingenuity of a young talent from the modest community of Orozo here in the FCT, making bold statements and proving that incredible creativity can also flourish anywhere, even amidst humble environments. And also on the line tonight, we will take you on a journey to the fascinating world of two Ogidi communities in Nigeria. Now, despite their geographical separation, they both share a profound connection, and that's through their rich and similar cultural traditions. Our correspondent Jonathan Omajali will be leading us on this incredible journey tonight. And while on earth we mourn the passing of our loved ones, the sentiment, however, is that when such saints pass, heaven celebrates their arrival. So tonight also on Newsline, we'll bring you such stories that truly resonate with this sentiment. So tonight's lineup is jam-packed with exciting stories, and what I've teased so far is just scratching the surface. But I'm particularly intrigued by how Elizabeth Omori is gearing up to bring you all the trending news. And Elizabeth, I'm just curious, are there any stories in your lineup tonight that perhaps highlight the remarkable strength of women?
Not really, but we have something on women, and they will be talking about women and their health. Thank you so much, Claire, and thanks for joining us on the news segment. We begin with the suicide attack in Gwoza. President Bola Tinubu condemns the bomb attacks which resulted in loss of lives and maiming of some citizens in Gwoza local government area of Baro State. In a statement, President Tinubu describes the attacks as desperate acts of terror and a clear manifestation of the pressure mounted against terrorists and the success achieved in degrading their capacity to launch offensives. The president says purveyors of wanton violence shall face the law, and his administration will not allow the nation slide into fear, tears, sorrow and blood. The president states that his administration is taking necessary measures to secure citizens, emphasizing that efforts will be redoubled to ensure that those who trouble the nation and disrupt law and order are completely removed. He condoles with victims of the attacks, families of the deceased, government and people of Borno State. Meanwhile, the U.S. mission in Nigeria says the attack, an act of violence in Gwoza, shows cruel disregard for human life. The U.S. diplomatic mission in Nigeria is committed to the partnership with Nigeria as it works to defeat terrorism and bring perpetrators of these heinous acts to justice. And Borno State Acting Governor Umar Usman Kadafur visited victims of Gwoza bomb blast who are receiving treatment at the State Specialist Hospital. Tina Toro reports that out of the 42 victims, 2 died, 16 discharged, and 26 still receiving treatment.
Governor accompanied by Senator representing Southern Borno, Ali Ndume, Secretary to the State Government, Bukar Tijani, Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Professor Usman Tar, sympathized with the victims of the blast, which occurred in Goza local government area, where a female suicide bomber detonated an improvised explosive device. Umar Kadafur, who described the incident as unfortunate, called on the people not to let down their guard, but be security conscious, reiterating government's commitment to safeguarding the lives of the people.
People have started having laxity on the issue of checking, but I believe we have to now go back to the same culture of checking and making sure that where there's gathering, people have to screen the area properly.
This is a wake-up call to all of us in Borno State.
He disclosed the state government's decision to offset the medical bills of the victims.
Even the stakeholders and me, we have given them 5 million naira for those who are receiving treatment here in Maiduguri State Specialist Hospital.
Management of the State Specialist Hospital say they are on their toes to ensure access to adequate care for victims.
The hospital is overwhelmed. Most of the wards have been filled. We were able to create more bed spaces in order to accommodate them, and all are receiving medical treatment.
The bomb blast is coming at a time when the people of Borno could heave a sigh of relief with the return of relative peace, only to be rudely awakened by such an unfortunate incident, reminding them once again of a past long forgotten. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, NTA News.
And the chairman of the Northern States Governors Forum and Governor of Gombe State, Muhammadu Inuayaya, commiserates with victims, government and people of Borno State over the recent tragic suicide attack in Goza local government area, which resulted in the loss of innocent lives and many injured. The governor acknowledges the relentless efforts of the Tinubu administration in combating terrorism and the pressure being mounted against the criminal elements. He also commends Governor Babagana Zulum and security agencies for showing exemplary leadership in the face of this tragedy. Their prompt efforts, he notes, have helped in calming the situation and providing immediate relief to victims. Away from the bomb attacks, legislators from 13 houses of assembly converged on Lagos to brainstorm on their roles in ensuring that the prevalence of malnutrition in the country is reduced through legislative actions. This was at a two-day conference on legislative engagement on prioritizing nutrition as a pathway to human capacity development, organized by UNICEF and civil society, scaling up nutrition in Nigeria. Musa Tolia has details.
With an estimated 2 million children under 5 suffering from severe acute malnutrition, Nigeria has the second highest burden of stunted children in the world. The alarming statistics from the UNICEF calls for urgent national plan of action to prioritize nutrition across the country.
Governments and relevant stakeholders have a role to play in interventions such as nutrition, knowledge and acquisition of jobs and skills as main pillars for human capital development.
This legislative engagement put together by the civil society scaling up nutrition in Nigeria therefore seeks to explore the influence of lawmakers in pushing legislation that can advance nutrition to boost human capital development in Nigeria.
It will not be out of place if the governors will consider creating a ministry of nutrition and food security in their respective states.
As parliamentarians, they also have a critical role to play in supporting the effort of government to change the narrative in terms of nutrition in their various states.
Issues around exclusive breastfeeding and adequate financing to accelerate improvement in food and nutrition security was also discussed.
The first 1,000 days of life is very, very important, especially to mothers that just delivered. We have been advocating for exclusive breastfeeding, that is, mother giving breast milk alone for the first 6 months of life.
We are also pushing for creation of nutrition departments in line MDAs, which some states have also gone ahead to get. I believe we will make it.
The conference elicited commitments from participants to promote robust legislative framework that supports nutrition-related policies in 13 focal states.
We are, as legislators, committed to allocate more funds to issues of nutrition in our various states.
Money is released by the executive and particularly by the governor. So it is my duty now to inform the governor about what I've learnt here.
In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Still talking health, completing the obstetrics fistula center at the Federal Medical Center Ogori in Yobe State will serve as a major breakthrough for patients in the northeast and even neighboring Niger Republic, as grimed statistics have shown that Nigeria records more than 12,000 cases of obstetrics fistula annually in northern Nigeria. Yunusa Sulaiman reports.
The Federal Medical Center grew at the far northern part of Yobe State is strategic, considering that about 9 out of the 70 local government areas of the state are located in that axis. Establishing the obstetrics and fistula center in the facility will go a long way in providing healthcare services to VBF patients along the northern corridor of Yobe, Jigawa and Borno states who find it hard to do so due to financial constraints.
We know the problem of VVF and we know the magnitude of VVF in this part of the region, and a lot of these women are there suffering. If we have this center revived, completed and equipped, we have the needed manpower. I seated here is a trained fistula surgeon, and we can be able to handle these patients in this center and rehabilitate them.
This entourage of the House of Representatives Committee on Tertiary Health Institutions on oversight visit to the medical center was in agreement with authorities of the institution on the urgent need for the federal government to complete the construction of the facility for use by the targeted beneficiaries.
Strategically located, we are interested in making sure that people from other countries run to Nigeria to benefit from health services that we can offer. And of course, even the people in this place.
The delegation was convinced on the need to ensure more funding for the health institution in order to accommodate the increasing number of patients coming for treatment. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
Away from health, 18 Nigerian professionals are departing for Sierra Leone as part of Nigeria's commitment in assisting African countries in need of expertise in critical areas of their development. Director General of the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps, Dr. Yusuf Buba Yakub, who briefed the volunteers in Abuja, said the scheme is an effective soft power diplomacy of the Nigerian government. Kelvin Elnwai brings us details.
Buba emphasized that it is by policies like TAC, Nigeria as a big brother country, we continue to retain the respect and veneration of the host countries where its volunteers are deployed. The TAC DG commended President Bola Tinubu for his continued support for the 37-year-old program since assuming office in 2023, stressing that the volunteers are ambassadors of the Nigerian nation and are therefore expected to exhibit the highest form of discipline, decorum and obedience to the constituted authorities.
The developed countries like the US, you have the US aid, the UK aid, the China aid, and here we have the Nigerian technical aid. This is one very important instrument that every strong country among the Committee of Nations do implement as part of its foreign policy objectives.
Among the 18 health professionals who belong to the first batch of volunteers scheduled for Sierra Leone are experienced nurses and medical doctors that have served in Nigeria's various communities and public institutions. They express readiness to commit to the ideas of the TAC mandate and make Nigeria proud through hard work and obedience to the authorities of the host country.
We're going to do all we can to make sure we keep to the rules and the regulations of that country, the host country, and make our country, Nigeria, proud, because as ambassadors, we are representing Nigeria.
The agency has this year alone deployed volunteers to Gambia, Uganda, and now Sierra Leone. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewunwaye, NTA News.
Now, in other news, National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, NHPDEC, is advocating redredging of rivers Niger and Benue to contain the incessant cases of flood disasters in communities affected by operations of hydroelectric dams in the country. Managing Director of the Commission, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, said this while on inspection tour of ongoing resettlement housing scheme project at New Moregi, a community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. Fatima Ali reports.
The 120 units of 2 bedrooms of an IPADEC resettlement housing scheme in Moregi, Mokwa local government area of Niger State is part of the federal government's commitment to relocate flood-prone communities to uplands to control the incessant cases of flood disaster and its attendant consequences. The housing project awarded last year is expected to be completed in the next 2 months, with both the state and local government to allocate housing units to beneficiaries.
The present administration of Ahmed Tinubu and the state government and the local government, we are jointly concerned in improving the life of the communities and also in ensuring that the previous challenges they had during flooding is not witnessed any longer.
So far we are satisfied. Quality of work, standard, honestly we are satisfied.
With the prediction of imminent flooding by NIMET in some flashpoint areas, and IPADEC says it is intensifying sensitization and intervention to reduce its impact and that of other ecological degradation problems that may rear its ugly head in all IPADEC communities. Fatima Aliu, NTA News.
Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, commends the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations for the critical role it played in designation of public relations as a cadre in civil service across the Federation. The Minister, in a statement, says the federal government will continue to provide the needed support for public relations practice in Nigeria. He hinted that Nigeria for a long time was the only country in Africa that had a law that professionalized public relations and the only country that started it on the continent. Mohammed says the Memorandum of Understanding signed by NIPR and Global Alliance for the establishment of a degree-awarding institution for public relations and leadership in Nigeria is a welcome development. He also commends the recent emergence of Dr. Omoniyi Ibietan, a fellow of the NIPR FCT chapter, as the Secretary General of the African Public Relations Association. To drug interception, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, intercepts 7.3 billion naira coding consignments as two persons excrete 150 cocaine wraps in Lagos. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim brings us details.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted 6 containers of 6,125 cartons of codeine worth more than 7 billion naira in street value at the Port Harcourt complex, One, Rivers State. This is the third of such seizure in the past 4 weeks. Meanwhile, NDLEA officers at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, have arrested 2 passengers traveling to Doha who, after screening, tested positive to ingestion of illicit substances. On Friday, 21st June, one excreted 90 wraps of cocaine, while the other discharged 60 wraps of the same class of substance. No less than 40.3 kg of loud and imported strong strain of cannabis was on Friday, 28th June, recovered in a black Toyota Tacoma truck along Lekki Ikoyi Road when the driver jumped off the vehicle after noticing that NDLEA operatives were on his trail. In Abuja, NDLEA operatives on Friday night disrupted a drug party tagged "Go hard or go home, pick your poison," where 60 suspects comprising 25 males and 35 females were arrested at an apartment in Sun City Estate in the Federal Capital Territory. The raid followed credible intelligence about the drug party. While some people embark on the business of illicit substances, the Anti-Narcotic Agency, NDLEA, says it is ahead and will net perpetrators whenever, wherever. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Army held an interdenominational church service in commemoration of the Nigerian Army Day celebration 2024. The day aims to recognize veterans for their selfless service, dedication to duty, and not forgetting the role they play in protecting the territorial integrity of the country. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Tariq Lagbaja calls on Nigerians to help the Army with the needed support and information that will help in combating terrorism in the country.
The generality of Nigerians is that they should continue to support their army by providing information, by providing moral, spiritual, and whatever support to their army. With this support, the soldiers in the front line will be motivated to give their all.
Non-kinetic way of dealing with this insecurity. Prayer is one aspect of dealing with such insecurity.
The theme of this year's event is integrating religious morals in society, imperative in combating contemporary security challenges in our joint environment. And on the foreign scene, Comfort Fashion has some trending stories for us.
This first round of high-stakes snap parliamentary election will likely alter France's democratic landscape and see the far-right party of Marine Le Pen take power in a historic manner. This two-round election and most of the National Assembly's 577 seats will not be decided until the second round runoff votes next Sunday. However, the first polling projections were expected at 8 p.m. local time when the final polling stations close and early official results have started trickling in. And in Hungary, Prime Minister Viktor Orban has announced his intention to form a new European parliamentary group with the far-right Austrian Freedom Party led by Herbert Kickl and the centrist movement of former Czech Prime Minister Andrej Babiš. The new alliance, named Patriot for Europe, enshrined in a manifesto, needs the support of parties from far other countries to be recognized as a fully fledged group in the European Parliament. While in Sudan, the paramilitary forces battling Sudan's army for more than a year say they have captured a key state capital in the war-torn country's southeast. This is contained in a statement by the Rapid Support Forces, RSF, on its X handle, claimed that they have liberated the 17th Infantry Division from Singa, the capital of Sana'a State. Comfort Fashion, NTA News.
Thank you, Comfort. Optimizing force structure and establishment for enhanced operational effectiveness is one of the key performance drivers of the Nigerian Air Force under the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar. The Nigerian Air Force is now 60 years strong and the Air Chief a year in office. How has the NAF performed in this past 1 year under this performance driver? Defense correspondent Najat Tijani will tell us.
Marking years of successful strikes against insurgency and terrorism, in the cockpit, pilots are locked and loaded, delivering justice to the enemy's doorstep. Air power on full display. The NAF's JF-17 Thunder and A-29 Super Tucano jets are raining down precision-guided munitions, taking out high-value targets with surgical accuracy. But it's not just about the hardware, nor is it about the NAF turning 60 and marking its Diamond Jubilee with fanfare, an air show, Conference of Air Chiefs, research and development competition showcasing innovations from across its units, and the prestigious Air Force Institute of Technology, AFIT.
So from a very basic beginning, where we were just a tactical Air Force, just designed to support the operations of surface forces, what we have today is a strategic Air Force, or an Air Force that is capable of carrying out strategic operations whenever required. So there has been a lot of transformation. When I assumed the mantle of leadership as the 22nd Chief of the Air Staff, the first thing we tried to do was to carry out a very detailed and thorough environmental scan. So as a result of this environmental scan, I came up with what I call my command philosophy, which is to transform the Nigerian Air Force.
Transforming the Nigerian Air Force into an agile and resilient force capable of meeting the air power needs of the nation. In the past year, the NAF has achieved increase in operational efficiency, a 30% reduction in aircraft downtime, and a 40% boost in aircrew training. Transforming the Nigerian Air Force into an agile and resilient force capable of meeting the air power needs of the nation. As the saying goes in the Nigerian Air Force, semper addendum, semper vigilans, always adapting, always vigilant, always willing, able and ready. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
Thank you, Naja'atu, for that report. The first naval officer to become Chief of Defense Staff from 1999 to 2003, Admiral Ibrahim Ogori, has passed on. His death occurred in the early hours of today, Sunday, and has been described as a great loss to the military community, Kogi State and Nigeria. Kogi State Governor Hamid Usman Ododo and a host of sympathizers were at the National Mosque, Abuja, for prayers for the deceased. Onotu Yakubu reports.
Malam Mukhtar Abba Usman of the National Mosque led the Janaza prayer. In praying for the repose of the soul of the deceased, Imam Abba Usman seek Allah's forgiveness, mercy and paradise for the late Admiral Ibrahim Ogori. Governor Usman Ododo, Minister of Steel Development Shuaibu Audu, colleagues and associates described the deceased as a military professional enigma who broke barriers to pave the way for those who followed in the path.
All through his life, he had been a center of unity for us as the people of Kogi State.
The military institution and defense institution benefited a lot from his wealth of knowledge.
He's somebody that is a very good company to all of us while in service and while in retirement.
God will accept his soul and protect those that he has left behind, including the rest of us who are his children.
To family members, late Admiral Ogori was a community mobilizer who will forever be remembered as an extraordinary human with unwavering commitment to service to impact humanity.
Has served this country, almost served the world to the best of his capacity.
He gives. He's a giver and he recognizes us.
Admiral Ibrahim Ogori was until his death the first Chief of Defense Staff with the 4-star general rank and the only holder of that position from the Nigerian Navy in the Fourth Republic. His remains has since been buried according to Islamic rites at Okura Olafia in Dekina local government area, Kogi State. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Similarly, President Bola Tinubu extends his condolences to the family of Admiral Ibrahim Ogori, who passed away this Sunday. Admiral Ogori, a well-decorated officer, was the Chief of Defense Staff from 1999 to 2003. President Tinubu mourns the late Admiral, stating that his services to the nation will always be remembered. The President prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and comfort to his family. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, announces the passing of Admiral Ibrahim Ogori, the 8th Chief of Defense Staff. Admiral Ogori passed on at 75 after a brief illness. The first naval officer to reach 4-star rank was a patriotic naval officer who served the nation for 33 years. The late Admiral had an illustrious career with various appointments in the Nigerian Navy. He was decorated with several honors, including the Forces Service Star, Fellow of the United States War College, and Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic. The Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs say late Ogori provided his wealth of experience to the armed forces even after retirement. And elsewhere, the 7th-day prayer for the late mother-in-law of the Vice President Kashim Shettima, Hajia Miriam Abubakar al-Bashir, was observed with dignitaries in attendance. Mohamed Goni reports from Maiduguri.
Led by the Imam Idenio Borno, Shetima Momon Saleh, the seventh-day prayers had in attendance the elder brother of the Vice President Abba Shetima, members of National and State Assemblies from Borno State, Secretary to the State Government, Waziri of Borno, and other traditional title holders, members of Borno State Executive Council, and ulama. Also present were members of the State Security Council, permanent secretaries, and other top government functionaries, as well as politicians and members of the business community. The congregation prayed Allah to grant her soul eternal rest and the family she had left behind the fortitude to bear the loss. Prayers were also offered for the state and the nation as a whole. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
Let's talk sports. It's now 26 days to the Paris 2024 Olympics, and Bade Adeleye is standing by for the continuation of a countdown to the Games.
Welcome to the Paris 2024 Olympics countdown. Now, 35 venues have been listed to host the events of the Olympic Games in Paris, and today we will take a look at these venues. The iconic Eiffel Tower Stadium will host beach volleyball. Football will be played at the Geoffroy Guichard, Parc des Princes, La Beaujoire, Lyon, Marseille, Nice, and Bordeaux stadiums. Artistic swimming, diving, and water polo will be at the Aquatic Center. Basi Arena will host artistic gymnastics, basketball, and trampoline, with Champ de Mars Arena hosting judo and wrestling. Shooting will be at the Chateau Center. Equestrian and modern pentathlon will be at the Chateau de Vassal. Cycling mountain bike will take place at Elancourt Hill, with fencing and taekwondo set for Grand Palais. Hotel de Ville will host athletics. Invalide will be home to archery, athletics, and road cycling, same as Trocadero. Stade de France will host some events in athletics and rugby sevens, while Le Beaujolais will be for sport climbing. Basketball and handball will be at the Pierre Mauroy Stadium. Swimming and water polo will hold at the Paris La Défense Arena. Boxing and modern pentathlon will be at the North Paris Arena, with boxing and tennis built for Stade Roland Garros. Badminton and rhythmic gymnastics will be at Porte de la Chapelle Arena. Road cycling, marathon, swimming, and triathlon will take place at Alexandre de Tours, while South Paris Arena will entertain handball, volleyball, table tennis, and weightlifting.
I think France, they've done well so far. I saw clips of the Games Village and preparations they are putting in place for different sports in Paris. And I think this Olympics is going to be a very, very good one.
While the Paris 2024 opening ceremony will be held outdoors for the very first time in the history of the Summer Games, the closing ceremony will take place in the more traditional way at the Stade de France. That's the countdown for today. I am Bade Adeleye.
Thank you so much, Bade, and actually we can't wait. Now let's take a look at the weather prospect for tomorrow, Monday.
Hello and welcome to Monday's weather forecast. We start off the day with early morning thunderstorms to parts of Borno, Yobe, Bauchi, Taraba, Kaduna, as well as parts of Plateau, Nasarawa. The southeast are expected to experience early morning rains. This includes parts of Ebonyi, Enugu, Abia, and coastal parts of the country. By afternoon and evening hours, moderate rains are expected to the southern region of the country, while to the north and the north central, thunderstorms are expected. Stand by for the air quality and marine forecast across some selected cities. Thank you for watching.
Now you know if you will be needing an umbrella or a raincoat tomorrow. That's the news segment. Captain Claire has more for us after this break.